Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Big Michael D sitting behind the mic again with his co-host, Ron. Ron, I heard that Derek Chauvin was charged with third-degree murder. Now, I'll tell you what, Ron, I don't even think third-degree murder is enough, okay? That means he was reckless when he did that. The district attorney's office needs to upgrade that charge somewhat to second-degree murder. That cop knew what he was doing, and so did his paisanos that were right next to him. They all held that man down. My question truly is, why in the hell isn't the other 3 cops in jail yet? I want to know this. Ron?
Okay, there's multiple questions there. First of all, you're wanting to know why he was charged with third-degree murder instead of second-degree murder. I'm sure they studied it carefully. They want something that's going to stick. Second-degree murder, I think most people think that too. Nobody would really think first-degree murder because he didn't have an intent to kill when they got there. But I'll tell you, he seemed to have a chip on his shoulder and everything like that. For some reason, to pin this guy down and carelessly do this to him, not believing that he was really choking him and all that. I guess they studied it and came up with third-degree murder, something that's going to make it stick. If they give him the maximum sentence for that, if he's found guilty, well, he's going to pay the price. What do you say to that?
He might pay the price, okay, at third-degree murder, but I'm sure that Mr. Floyd's family and relatives, all right, and parts of other communities don't think that's even near enough. When it looks like by video tape that it was done deliberate. Like he knew he was choking him but didn't want to move off of his neck. Ron?
But, Mike, was the intention to kill there, though, or just to maim him? I mean, maiming is one thing, and it's not really good either, but actually, this officer had 18 complaints against him before this case. I don't even know what he was still doing on the force, actually.
Generally, after about the 3rd complaint, your history. But 18 complaints? Yeah.
I don't know about 3, but 18? Go ahead.
Yeah, I could have put up with 3, but 18? Oh, well, I'll tell you what, somebody's doing some serious ass kissing there.
Excuse me for laughing, but I mean, it's just ridiculous that anybody would still be on the police force with 18 complaints against them for roughing up people.
Exactly.
And by the way, one of the standby officers was one of the 2 officers that, I don't know what he did, and I can't remember his name, but he had a 4-letter last name. But anyway, what he did was he either held somebody while another police officer kicked a victim in the teeth. Oh, I can recall that story pretty good. What happened was he was walking home from his grandmother's house with his pregnant girlfriend, and they got stopped by the police, 2 policemen. They're in Minneapolis, and they started questioning him about different things, and one of them checked to see if he had a record or something. He was claiming he didn't have any record, but one of them said he did have a record, lied and said he had a record, and he started to get out of there, because he knew it was a setup. And all of a sudden, one of them grabbed him and held him and held him kind of down, while the other one kicked him right in the mouth and chipped his teeth. And guess what? He sued the police department for that. You know what the payoff for that was?
No, what was it? What was the payoff?
I would have thought at least $100,000 or more. $25,000 was the payoff for that. Can you imagine? And neither officer got suspended either, or anything, as far as I know.
That's just unbelievable. $25,000. That's unbelievable, heard of.
And now look at what's happened. It's just because of all that carelessness in Minneapolis, other cities are paying for it now with riots and everything. Just because of their carelessness there. It just doesn't seem fair.
Nobody should start to loot or burn other cities. That's just wrong. You're not going to solve the problem that way. In other states and cities, they really need to pack it up and go home. There's nothing wrong, though, may I add, with a peaceful protest. Do that for several days. You're able to do that without getting the cops brought in on it.
Well, it reaches a little further than this. I believe it's outside forces that are trying to destroy America. You know, they jump on anything they can and incite these riots and things like that, and actually pay people to incite these riots. I can't see it any other way. This is a very strange world we're living in now. Very, very strange.
Oh, tell me about that one. Ron, I'd like to ask this question, though. I would surely like to know why on God's green earth those other 3 ex-police officers weren't even charged yet when they should have been.
Well, in the first place, I wondered why it took 4 days, but they were very careful to charge the officer that had the knee on the neck and all that. They were Derek Chavez, I'm sorry, Chauvin, yeah, Derek Chauvin, or Chauvin. They took 4 days to charge him. There's no saying really that they wouldn't charge the others sooner or later, but maybe a little longer. I mean, it was just obvious what Officer Chauvin did. That was obvious. What the others were doing, standing by and all that. One of them on camera was standing by like as if he would menace anybody that stepped in and tried to stop the officer from choking Floyd to death, you know?
Well, there was 3 others involved at the same exact time that Derek Chauvin had his knee on Floyd's neck. All right? One officer had his knee on Floyd's upper back. Another cop had it on his lower back, and another one holding his leg still. So they're all in on it together. So I'm saying, why not arrest all 4 of them in total?
Okay, I'll finish answering that. Maybe they want to use them for state's evidence. Maybe they want them to be friendly with the state rather than side with Derek Chauvin. What do you think?
This could be true. This can be. But, they could want to go state's evidence with them. But in any way, they all need to get the maximum. If they turn state evidence, I would say I would shave 5 years, maybe 6 years off with a maximum sentence.
So you think all 3 of the other officers should be accessories to the fact?
That's right, I do.
Accessories to third-degree murder?
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Okay. Well, I don't know what their plans are, but I'm sure they're planning this out. They've got plenty of time to do it.
Oh, I'm sure they're going to have plenty of time to do it. They can even file for unemployment at this time.
Yeah, this thing's going to stretch out quite a while, this case. Meanwhile, how many riots are going to be happening?
Hopefully there won't be any more riots. Like I said before, I'll say it again, that What can you solve by rioting or in other people's states or cities? It doesn't solve anything. It just doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
No. The smart thing to do before everyone ends up starting to get arrested is pack up your duds and go back home. Okay?
We all wait for due process of law, don't we? We all have to. If we're good American citizens, we have to just wait for the due process of law. We can't take the law in our own hands. Everybody's got to learn that.
That's right. That's right. But
a lot of innocent persons get hurt by these riots. I mean, it just compounds the fact. It's just terrible.
That's right. It totally is terrible.
Whatever. People that aren't even part of this. I mean, rioting is a blind thing. I mean, it just, you might as well go around with a blindfold shooting at people that are innocent. I mean, it's crazy. Or whatever. Just nuts.
It is anyway. Nuts. It is nuts. You're right. It is totally freaking nuts. 100%. I agree with you. You know,
I wish people, so everybody would be more law-abiding.
If people could just,
you know, when police officers aren't law-abiding, that's the worst thing. That's a really real problem. Anyway.
Well, people were getting along until this shit happened. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Mm. Well.
You know, so, I mean.
I don't see any cover-up, though, that the others haven't been arrested or anything. Or they were dismissed from their jobs. I mean, what more punishment do you need so far for those other ones? I think a little more should happen to the one that threatened the crowd. You know, like, don't come near here. Don't you dare try to get this officer off this man, you know. And he was ready to fight the crowd, you know. I just think it's one of the worst things I've ever seen, actually.
You're correct. You're correct.
It's burned in my mind. I just can't get rid of it.
Oh,
it's just horrendous.
It's a lousy feeling. Believe me, it is. People need to get along with people, not have some guy who thinks differently that he got the power of everything. No, it doesn't work this way.
I've got a question for you, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Don't you think there should be some uniform laws all through the whole country, at least our country, if not the world, how police officers handle people that they're going to arrest?
Well, the whole thing...
I mean, they can't torture them before they arrest them. They're supposed to get them in that squad car within so much of length of time. One law should always be, and I don't know if I mentioned this on the last podcast, but one thing should be that within a couple of minutes or so of handcuffing somebody, they should either be on their knees or on their feet. And a couple of minutes after that, they should be in the squad car, unless they're trying to run away and things like that. You see? This man was not offering resistance. Floyd wasn't offering any resistance.
This is true. This is very true. Yeah.
So he's dead for either mistakenly or on purpose trying to pass a phony $20 bill. I mean, you know, counterfeit $20 bill.
Well, Ron, that's about it for this evening. We'll pick it up again another night. So until then, I want to say, please keep the peace, and may God bless each and every one of you. Good night, everyone.